Okay. Friend and I are back. I am still not feeling great, and there's people trying to drive me insane so that I feel much worse. But we're back, and we're on Season 1, Episode 2 of One Step Beyond. This is going to be night of April 14th. The only thing that I know happened on April 14th was Abraham Lincoln's assassination. So we're going to find out what else that I'm not thinking of might have happened on that date.
The amazing drama you're about to see is a matter of human record. You may believe it or not, but the real people who lived this story, they believe it. They know. They took that one step beyond.
Do y'all believe?
Presents a new and unusual kind of television program that takes you just beyond the world in which you live. Alcoa presents Aluminum, from the world's leading producer, Aluminum Company of America, who creates new and unusual uses of this wondrous metal for the world in which you do live. And now, John Newland takes you one step beyond.
Here in this warm, secure London house, early April 1912, began the bizarre and untold chapter of a news story that would soon stun the civilized world. In this library was an unread book. Coming events cast their shadows before them. Maybe. Remember this book. We'll come back to it later. It might shock you.
She was sure shocked. What did he say the name of the book was? Coming Events Cast. Wonder what would happen if I just Googled that first part.
Mother! What is it? What's wrong, dear? It was water. Dark water. I was drowning. I couldn't swim anymore. I was drowning.
Oh, you've just had one of those old-fashioned nightmares.
Oh, no.
I don't blame you. All this excitement about the wedding. No wonder.
Frank was there. And I couldn't find him in the dark. And the water closed in over me. What does it mean?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I might go to the library and look for this book to be an addition to this, because it's an actual book. It was released in 1859. Coming events cast their shadows before. So, there's all kinds of historical stuff in this show. It's just I've never looked into these things, but I don't usually watch things that are based on truth like this, you know? Because when I watch anthologies, I like Twilight Zone and Outer Limits and just made up stuff.
And in 4 days you'll be married and in Switzerland on your honeymoon. The happiest bride that ever was. And you can't drown in Switzerland. Nobody ever does. All they do is bang into trees on those foolish skis. But drowning? No.
It was all so clear. I could feel the water. It was like ice.
Now, if you must dream, I order you to dream only pleasant things. Eric, your wedding dress, and how happy you're going to be. Promise? That's better. Now, come on back to bed.
I couldn't find him.
Now, that is enough, darling. And I shouldn't worry Eric with this. He's been trying so hard to make everything wonderful for you. There. No. Good night. hard night there. Good night.
With her bedroom the size of an apartment these days. She is very pretty. Why are we posing like this? We're pretty,
Good morning,
but why?
Emily. Is the future Mrs. Farley about? Grace?
Eric. Well,
I know it's early, but I wanted to see what my wife would look like in the morning.
ugly. Would you like some coffee, darling?
I'd love some. You like surprises, don't you, darling?
I love them. Come on, surprise.
It's about our honeymoon.
Honeymoon?
We're not going to Switzerland.
We're not. Where are we going?
We're going to America. To New York City.
New York. Eric.
Now, why don't you ask me how we're going to get there? Swim. Rowboat, raft.
All right, darling, how?
That's how. Stateroom 111B, boat deck, right next door to Mr. and Mrs. John Jacob Astor, no less. On the maiden voyage of His Royal Majesty's ship, Titanic, Southampton to New York, 6 days.
Did he say Jacob Astor? I think that's a name that they used in the Leonardo DiCaprio Titanic version as well. Actually, I think they've used the name Jacob Astor in every Titanic film that's been made, because there's a one called A Night to Remember, and I think they use him in that one too. She's really pretty. Now that I'm paused on her, like, her eyes are just very, very engaging and mesmerizing.
Let's see, next Tuesday.
See?
Oh, just a little sugar, darling.
I can't. I can't believe it.
I can hardly believe it myself, but the office has connections.
Oh, you lucky children.
You sure you won't miss Switzerland?
Switzerland will keep. But the Titanic, our honeymoon, it's once in a lifetime.
The paper's full of nothing but the Titanic. Listen to this, Grace. RMS Titanic, the world's largest and most luxurious liner, is writing a new and glamorous chapter in man's conquest of the sea. By virtue of her 5 watertight compartments, she's being hailed in marine engineering circles as the unsinkable ship. Her first passenger list makes her a floating home for royalty, statesmen, international society, and stars of the theater and the arts.
And Mr. and Mrs. Eric Farley, who are absolutely unknown.
And absolutely in love.
Water, by the way. But y'all is all on me about drinking too much soda.
Grace.
It's just in a soda bottle.
Grace.
My iron tablets take a lot of water, so I drink a lot
What
more
is it,
water
darling?
these days.
What is it?
These are coming for you, friend. I don't know what you did, but
We can't go on that ship. It happened again. I dreamed.
No, darling, I do wish you wouldn't.
I saw the sea, the cold sea. There were people struggling in the water,
Really?
sinking, dying.
Grace.
And then a huge ship slid down. Down.
Now, it's just a bad dream. Besides, that ship couldn't be the Titanic. The Titanic can't sink. Everyone knows that.
I saw a lifeboat tossing in the water. There were letters on the side of it. I saw, so clearly I saw the word Titanic on the side of the boat. I did. I did. I did. I did. I did. I did. I did.
Your intuition should tell you that what you see next is not a dream. It can come true.
I believe her. I do believe that sometimes we have premonitions in our dreams, but most times we either forget them or ignore them as just being dreams.
Just what I've always wanted. Only my own dear Aunt Agatha would have guessed. Have you ever kept birds, my darling? Neither have I. You ever thought of keeping birds? Neither have I. And by all means, write dear Aunt Agatha and tell her she's made us very, very happy.
I will.
I know all about last night. And the night before that.
Mother told you. I suppose you think I've gone off my head, one of the silly, hysterical women.
I think you're a lot overtired and a little over-imaginative.
But this isn't my imagination. Believe me, I saw it.
Now, that is silly. You don't believe what you see in your sleep? I mean, unless you're a gypsy. Grace. Do you trust me?
You know I do.
And don't spoil the happiest time of our whole lives just because of a bad dream. Everything's going to be all right, I promise. I'll take care of you always.
Oh, hold me tight, darling.
You know, if I didn't know you so well, I think that you'd fall in love with another man, that you didn't want to marry me.
I couldn't love anybody but you.
Very well, I believe you. Only remember, if there ever is another man, I was one of the best shots in the Coldstream Guard.
I wonder what ship they're using for the footage outside here. Those things are big. I was on the Queen Mary last year on free day.
Are you asleep?
I think I will keep a bird after all.
I beg your pardon.
It would please your Aunt Agatha, wouldn't it?
Terribly. Did you have any particular species in mind?
Oh, a lovebird, of course.
Well, naturally, lovebird.
Thank you, darling.
What for?
The 6 most perfect days of my life.
How lovely you are. And very young. Could be even better days.
You've forgiven me, haven't you, for those silly scenes I made?
I've forgotten the whole thing.
I'm glad. Such awful, ridiculous dreams.
It wasn't a dream at all. I was wide awake when I felt there was something wrong with the ship. Quite wrong. I know you'll laugh. And I don't blame you. I was in my cabin this afternoon. I imagine it was around 4 o'clock when I heard this terrible sound.
What kind of sound?
It was a terrible grinding sound, as though the ship had suddenly struck some immovable object. The whole boat seemed to tremble with the impact. Tell me, by any chance, did you hear anything or feel anything?
No, I heard nothing like that, I'm happy to say. You know, it's probably your imagination. Or, more likely, indigestion. Now, why don't you see the ship's doctor? He's a good man, I'm told.
I'm
You're
all right.
just a crazy old man.
The first time in my life, I'm afraid. I'm afraid even for the next few hours. I don't know what I'm afraid of. It's as though something in my soul. You know, if I weren't such a hard-headed realist now at home, I think I'd call on my minister.
As the mighty ship raced through the Atlantic night,
Sorry, there's a police chopper circling. It's very loud.
there were others far away who felt dark premonitions of disaster. For one, a Methodist minister in Winnipeg, Canada. 6.
Yeah, that looks like Canada. That doesn't at all look like England.
4. 4, 6.
Dr. Morgan, but it's nearly time for the service.
Miss Parsons, I'd like the congregation to sing hymn number 446 tonight.
But, Dr. Morgan, the hymns for tonight are already posted in the church, and the organist...
Please, 446.
I didn't know that was one of your favorite hymns.
It isn't. I don't even know the words. I simply know that we must sing it tonight.
Hear, Father, while we pray to thee for those in peril on the sea. Better we should be praying for our farmers after a winter like this.
Like they had the address printed on the book just so we could be sure they were in Canada. Those were definitely Canadian accents. That's actually really pretty, all that water. But one thing I noticed when I watch these old shows is how much stuff everybody has. It's like every house has this medieval feel. There's like just things everywhere. It's so weird and consumeristic. We're singing the same hymn in the church on the board.
What is it, darling?
Nothing.
You're cold. Come to bed.
It's freezing out there. There's ice everywhere.
At precisely the
she's
same
cold?
time in New York City, still 1,000 miles away, a magazine illustrator named Harry Teller felt a weird compulsion.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Harry, what's this? I thought you were supposed to be drawing pretty girls in the new spring styles. You'll never make the deadline now.
I don't know how it happened. I don't know, helpless. Something seemed to be guiding my hand. I can't explain it.
You're tired. You've been working too hard. Now, come on.
No. No, it's not that.
Harry, let's go to bed. Now, this drawing, it's awful. I don't know who would want it. But you know something? This is the best work you've ever done. I've never seen you do anything like this before. All of this detail in here. Harry, what is it? Your hands are like ice.
The water in the drawing was cold.
Sorry, I paused it so we could actually look at the painting, because that is actually really pretty. It's really dark and fucked up, but I like shit like that. Like, I would hang something like that in my home.
Icy cold.
Who's the lady? Is that what he was supposed to be drawing, or is there just like a giant lady out there?
carefully, we will prove our ability to transfer our thoughts to you.
Sorry, the quality of this is really, really bad. It's an old show and some episodes are hard to find. I got these in the best quality I found them in. But there are some colorized versions. We might try a couple of those, but I don't like colorizing black and white stuff. I feel like it's more authentic to keep it black and white, and it has more of a feel. Like it changes when you add color, I think. There's that noir feeling you get from black and white. Married but sleeping in separate beds.
Grace. Grace. Grace.
What happened? What's the matter?
Everything's all right now. You come out to bed.
I understand. I was sleeping. Someone was screaming, hurry, that we need warm clothes. And I must... What's wrong with me? I must be losing my mind. Oh, I'm losing my mind.
You're driving me out of mind, you know. Look, I'm not John Jacob Astor or a member of the nobility. I've saved for 2 years for this trip, wanting it to be a perfect honeymoon, and to have it spoiled by such childish nonsense.
Oh, I'm sorry, Eric. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, sir. What fun were you having? Y'all are sleeping in separate beds.
All right, darling, you're forgiven.
What is she ruining for you
I just don't make a habit of
exactly?
pitching my best clothes on the floor.
Iceberg, get ahead! Iceberg, get ahead! Iceberg, get ahead!
Engine seems to have stopped. You all right? Oh, Stewart.
Sir,
The engine seemed to have stopped. What was it?
there was some report of an iceberg, sir. The captain stopped the vessel, sir, just to be on the safe side, you know.
What an incredible ship. What service. They run out of ice at the bar, so what happened? We hit an iceberg. Good fresh ice. That's what I like. It's all over the deck. Have a drink, chum. That's nothing.
It's all over the deck, and that doesn't worry him at all.
Never seen an iceberg, darling. Shall we go and have a look?
That's a good idea. We'll wrap up. Good war.
Captain's orders, go to your lifeboat station. Please dress warmly. Now, there's no need to panic. Just take it nice and easy.
It's just a precaution, darling. Remember what the captain said tonight? The ship that nothing in the world could sink? What are you doing? Trying to impress an iceberg with your jewels?
Just in case you might not be coming back.
Oh, come on.
I wonder how many drowned specifically because they were told to dress warm and it was too many clothes for them to swim. Because when you get wet, your clothes get heavy.
Easy does it now. Women and children only. They'll follow later. There we go.
I guess if you didn't drown, you were going to freeze to death anyway, but still.
There's the little one. Here's the young fellow. Take care of him, will you? Yes, sir.
No.
Thank you, madam.
No. No. I won't go without you. No.
Darling, hush.
No.
Now, darling, listen to me. Have you forgotten your wedding vows so soon? Love, honor, obey. Now you go with the other women in boat 4.
Turn down the fog machine.
Sorry.
You can't see the actors.
I love our marriage. All 6 days, 5 hours, and 20 minutes of it. I even loved our first fight.
If you ever have another bad dream, I'll listen to every word. Come, madam. It's all right. It's all right. Good night, my love.
And that would suck, getting married and having that experience for only a week and then drowning. Oh no, I guess he's putting her in a boat. But she's the one that's been dreaming of drowning, so I guess that boat's gonna get fucked.
Eric Farley never came back to this house. Over 1,500 people perished that dreadful night aboard the Titanic. Eric Farley was among them. You've seen some of the unexplained supernatural events surrounding the life and death of a great ship. Now, do you remember this book? It's a novel published in 1898, 14 years before the ill-fated vessel was even dreamed of. The title, Futility. Its author, Morgan Robertson.
Apparently, I looked up the wrong book. I thought the thing that he said was the book, and it actually is the name of a book, which really threw me off course. The book he's talking about is, did he say Frutility? Looking it up.
Story about the largest liner ever built, carrying on its maiden voyage the rich and great of the world. Then, on an April night, it struck an iceberg. The vessel in this book was 70,000 tons. The Titanic, 66,000 tons. The length of the ship in these pages, 800 feet. The Titanic, 882 feet. Both made 25 knots. Both carried about 3,000 passengers. Both liners had lifeboats for only a fraction of that number. And both were considered unsinkable. Oh, one more thing. The author called his ship the Titan. In a moment, something else to think about.
I think I've heard that story before, and that there was a copy of Futility, or The Wreck of the Titan, by Morgan Robertson, which is what I just looked up. I think what the story that I had heard before was that there was a copy of that book on the Titanic when the Titanic sank. There are so many stories about the Titanic. I might do a longer video just looking at the weird historical stories that have come out of that one tragedy, because it's wild.
Oh, about next week. Well, it begins with a silly argument about this hat. And it ends when two people in peril, miles apart, discover an amazing kind of communication. An incredible way of finding each other, as together they take that one step beyond.
Okay, well, we will be watching the next episode soon. Possibly today. I don't know when I'm going to be getting these uploaded, but that was Season 1, Episode 2 of One Step Beyond, night of April 14th. let me know how you think. What do you think of the stories that have come out of Titanic? The people who had premonitions beforehand, the book that was supposedly on board. There's also supposedly there was something on board that was cursed. That is like the reason. I don't know the full story, right? But supposedly something on board had a curse on it. I do believe in curses, so. Talk about the Titanic. Someone's fighting outside, and I don't know if y'all can hear it on the recording or not, but we're gonna push through and get another episode filmed while I still feel up to filming. Fuck the rest of the world. So this is gonna be One Step Beyond Season 1, Episode 3, Emergency Only. So the first 2 episodes that we watched revolved around newlywed women having a very hard time. The Bride Possessed was about a bride possessed, and then the night of April 14th was a woman who had just gotten married having dreams about drowning and then going on the Titanic for her honeymoon. But she's not the one that drowned, which is strange. That she was the one having the dreams, but she's not the one that drowned. Unless we don't know something about that lifeboat. He only said the man never came home. So I guess that because of her dreams, they found a way to get her on a fucking boat. Anyways, this is Emergency Only.
What you're about to see is a matter of human record. Explain it? We cannot. Disprove it? We cannot. We simply invite you to explore with us the amazing world of the unknown. To take that one step beyond.
If it's a little loud, I apologize. I'm trying to drown out everything else.
Like, thousands of other couples in Manhattan, Jim and Betty Hennessy are giving a cocktail party. Now, all those other parties will end with people falling in love with each other, with people getting sore at each other, with hangovers, and with plenty of work for the maid. But this one, oh boy, this one.
I like they've got a chess game set up back then. Imagine going to a party and playing chess these days. I don't think you'd find a partner to play with you.
I don't know. Sometimes I can't do it at all.
Oh, stop that. What about the time that you told Marie Cooper that their house was going to burn down 3 days before it happened?
Yeah, that was really out of this world.
It was really horrible.
It wasn't your fault, darling. After all, you got us married.
How did she manage that?
She told me I was going to meet a man in Bermuda because of a flat bicycle tire. And a year later, I would marry him.
And we were married to the day. How come you could fix a bicycle tire? In the Army, you couldn't clean your rifle. I still can't.
Oh, well, now, come on, it's not that bad.
Oh, he's very handy.
No kidding. She's really terrific. She went into some kind of hypnotic sleep a year before Betty and I ever laid eyes on each other. And she called all the shots right on the button. Sure she did. You don't believe it, huh?
Well, I believe she saved lots of cocktail parties. Look, next time you're in Chicago, remind me to take you on State Street to a little old woman. She's got a genuine African monkey paw. All she does is touch it. The whole future lights up. Now, she told me I'd be the next governor of Illinois. Oh, you'd love her.
Okay, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a wise guy from Chicago in our midst.
Okay, so I'm guessing this story is going to be about fortune tellers, psychics, women who can have premonitions and very clearly see what the future holds for other people. I personally don't believe in it. Like, I think there's levels, you know, when it comes to like people like John Edwards that can speak for the dead, I don't believe in that. I do kind of believe about having premonitions about your own life, I don't know about having feelings and premonitions about other people's, but maybe that's because I personally am not in tune to other people that way. And other people who are, they might be more open to those frequencies. What do you think, though? Let me know. Let's have a conversation if y'all want to talk. If you think psychics are real. Or if you think that they're all like... Well, who was the Jamaican lady that always was on TV at 3 a.m. in the 90s? Miss Cleo. Call Miss Cleo. She's waiting for you. I think she's dead.
Doesn't believe in our Ellen. What do you say, Ellen? Would you be willing to do it?
No, please, I'd rather not.
Well, maybe the spirits are with Miss Larrabee today.
Some other time.
You mean when there are no cynics on the premises?
No, just some other time.
But there can't be any other time, Ellen. He's flying back to Chicago tonight. Come on, don't make a jackass out of me.
I think this is wonderful.
Jackass.
You and Arthur have never seen each other before. You know absolutely nothing about him.
And you might be able to tell him something that'll wipe that smug smile off his face. Charlie, come on. You make her do it.
Now, what's Charlie got to do with it?
Well, they sort of work together.
That's an act.
Well, maybe it is an act. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. You want to, Ellen?
I just don't feel up to it now.
Well, then forget about it. You don't have to sing for your supper around here.
It's too bad. I like party games. Like post office. Well, where's the post office? And I'm sorry I'm such a wet blanket. Oh, look, for Pete's sake, I hope I didn't hurt your feelings.
You didn't hurt my feelings, Mr. Douglas. All right. I'm ready.
Oh, marvelous.
Oh, good. Good. Ellen, you don't have to do this.
I want to. Mr. Douglas, I hope you'll be amused.
Well,
Peer
come on,
pressure
everybody.
is
Get
getting
comfortable.
to
Grab
it.
a chair. Now the party livens up. Excuse me. All right, Ellen, now close your eyes. Now relax. Relax completely. Now you're sinking. Down, down, down. Floating. Mind is free in space. World's far away.
Far away.
You feel wonderful. Light and wonderful.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Now, where are you, Will?
Moving. Moving.
Do you see anything?
Nothing. Nothing. Oh. He doesn't notice them.
Notice what?
They're not his anyway.
What's not his, Ellen?
The keys. Now it's dark. Dark, 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 dark. Stop.
What stopped? Where did it stop?
There's so much noise.
What kind of noise?
People. And trains. Many trains.
I hope the act improves. You just told her I was taking a plane. Are you in the station, Ellen?
He's late. He's hurrying. Now run. Run. Running. He's running.
Where's he running?
102, B.
102?
B. Compartment B. Car 102.
Shouldn't someone tell her I'm flying?
They shouldn't. They're making him go. Things
making him go. Oh, he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have. There's a snake.
Snake?
A snake. A shining gold band.
You mean a ring?
Yes, a ring. Now I see. To thee, for whose dear love I rise and fall. Isn't that lovely? It must have meant a lot.
Whose ring, Ellen?
Hers.
Hers? Well. Now, Arthur, if this bores you, we can stop right now. No, don't be silly. Now it's getting interesting.
He thinks that she's, like, following his path, but I think that she's seeing somebody else right now.
Oh, she's so pretty. Dark hair.
Very interesting.
Traveling suit. Gray. Fur bow. He's nervous. He's frightened. He's spilling her drink. And now he's running. Running. 102, 102, quickly. Oh, he's so frightened. Oh, he's all alone. In the dark. Ah! The light is blinding. She's standing in front of him with a knife. With a knife.
Ellen.
You're all right, darling. You're all right now.
Nothing like this ever happened before, Arthur. I'm sorry. Guess it was a lousy idea.
What did I say? What did I say? I talked about you, didn't I?
Well, if you did, I hope you're wrong.
Was it bad?
Bad? Oh, I'm going to be rich as a Maharaja, live to be 150, and fall in love with an international beauty. But thanks for the most exciting cocktail party I've been to in years. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. Goodbye. Goodbye, all.
So they all still think she's talking about his trip.
I'm afraid this wasn't a barrel of laughs. Well, have a good trip, Arthur.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're going by plane.
You know something? You really married a spook. But she's good looking.
So long, Arthur.
All right, bye-bye.
See you soon. For being such a bust, there's an awful lot to clean up.
See what I said about there just being random stuff everywhere? There's like heads on the wall and statues. These old shows, it's like sometimes you walk into a house and it's like you've walked into an antique shop.
Never mind, Maddie, I'll get it. Wonder who that could be. I hope nobody forgot anything. One thing I can't stand is a party that never ends. Arthur!
Hey, where's the party?
Well, what happened? Why aren't you in the plane?
Well, don't you ever look out your windows? Nothing's leaving idle while for who knows how long.
What are you going to do?
Exactly what you Miss Larrabee said I was going to do. Well, I knew you wouldn't mind my waiting here instead of the station.
You're not going to take a train.
Why would he switch over to a train after she just had that premonition? Like, their whole thing was, we don't believe you because he's taking a plane, so why would he then switch to a train?
New York City when we have all right, you've changed. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I know he's switching to the train because the plane is now unavailable, but could he not put the trip off? Could he not find a car? I mean, if somebody had just told me I was going to be killed on a train, I would probably not get on a train right away. This man is stupid.
I'm sorry, all right. That's all right.
Hey, mister. You dropped your keys, sir.
Are they on mine?
Okay.
The keys. They're not his anyway.
Going right out, sir. So go.
Oh, good evening. Good evening. Douglas. Oh, yes, Mr. Douglas, because of this storm and all the reservations that were made at the last minute like yours, there's been a mix-up in your space. Now, I can give you compartment L in car 271 or, let's see, car 102, compartment B.
Compartment B, car 102.
What were those numbers? Car 271. I mean the last. Compartment B, car 102. Well, I'll take the other one. Car 270. It doesn't really matter. The compartments are exactly the same. That's what you think. I beg your pardon. Thanks very much.
Has he not had enough signs to tell him to just back off the train? Like, at what point does this man have any common sense?
There you go.
At least he did switch to a different room, but like, just don't be on that train.
Beg pardon, sir. This last-minute change seems to have gotten us all fouled up. I'm afraid we're going to have to change cars after all. You see, this lady belongs in here. Now, the porter will move you. I'm very sorry for the bother. Where are you moving me to? Well, the only space we have left, car 102, compartment D. Now, if you'll permit the porter to... I'm not permitting the porter anything. I'm staying right here. Oh, but Mr. Douglas, look, why don't you put the lady in the other compartment? Well, you yourself said they were the same. Not quite, Mr. Douglas. You see, at 6:12 tomorrow morning, we lose car 102 at Dayton. That means that its passengers will ride in the club car the rest of the way to Chicago. And since this lady has had this space reserved for so long, it hardly seems fair that she should be the one who's inconvenienced. Well?
So the dude lied to him when he thought that both of the cars were exactly the same, because if one is going to a completely different place, then they're not the same.
I'm not moving.
Look, rather than cause all this fuss, I'll take the other compartment.
No. Just a moment. Mr. Douglas, as the conductor of this train, I'm responsible for the comfort of the passengers. Now, this lady purchased this space some weeks ago, and she's not going to be inconvenienced because of a clerical error, and I must say a most uncooperative man. Look, I've got to get to Chicago. Car 102 will take you there quite nicely. And if that compartment is not acceptable to you, I must ask you to leave the train. All right, let's change. Thank you, Mr. Douglas. Think nothing of it.
I'm sorry about all this bother.
All right.
She looks like the lady in the ocean that was on the painting the reporter was drawing, where he was originally drawing a big lady and then he drew the... She looks like the lady.
All aboard!
Yes?
Excuse me. I believe I left my hat here.
Oh.
Thank you. I shouldn't have made all the fuss about the compartment.
Well, that's all right. Nobody likes to be shuttled about. Yes?
I did apologize about getting annoyed, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry. The two cheapest words in the language. When a fellow says I'm sorry and offers to buy you a drink, that really means something. What do you say?
Oh, thank you. Maybe if you're in the club car later, I'll see you there, but first I must change.
Well, you look fine the way you are.
I'm glad you approve.
I do. I'll be waiting for you.
Little North by Northwest feel. I spent a lot of time on a train in that movie.
Is that kind offer of a drink still stand?
Traveling suit, gray. Fur bow.
When you did ask me to have a drink.
Oh, please, forgive me. Please. What do you have?
Scotch and soda, if I may.
Scotch and soda.
Oh, she's so pretty. Dark hair.
Is something wrong?
I don't know.
You know, I can live without this drink.
Oh, please, please, forgive me. Please. Would you, mind if I ask you a question about, your dress?
It's a suit.
Tell me, is that what you, call an original? I mean, that's the only one like it.
No, I wish it were. I hate to think about it, but there are probably 1,000 women walking around in exactly the same thing. Here's to the man in compartment B.
Live in Chicago?
Not exactly in Chicago. Evanston.
Have friends in New York?
A few, not many.
Tell me, by some wild chance, you happen to know Ellen Larrabee?
No, I don't think so.
You're sure?
Quite sure.
Now, she's small, brown hair and eyes that sort of...
I really don't know Ellen Larrabee.
I'm glad.
What?
You want to hear something really crazy? I went to a cocktail party this afternoon. A perfectly normal cocktail party. And then it was this completely average-looking woman there, this Ellen Larrabee. Now, look, I'm the most practical guy in the world. I believe 2 and 2 are 4, period. But this Ellen Larrabee told me that I was...
It's a snake.
What did she tell you?
A snake.
Well, do you want them or not?
To thee, for whose dear love I rise and fall.
Let me see that.
What?
He really needs to get off that train.
All right. It's quite
Or at
old.
least...
It's a serpent ring.
Did she say that the train was going to crash or that the woman was going to attack him with a knife? Because if the problem's that she's going to attack him, he should try to disengage from her before he pisses her off and gets her drunk. Speaking of pissed off drunks, the choppers are back. It's Friday night and there's lots of crime in Los Angeles, so...
I picked it up in a little antique shop on Madison Avenue. Being a woman, I liked the sentiment inside. To thee, for whose dear love I rise and fall. Isn't that lovely? It must have meant so much.
Look, do you know me? Have you ever seen me before? Now, I must know, I must. Did you know I was taking this train?
No, I
Light is fading and I'm using black, so...
Look, my name is Douglas, Arthur Douglas. Now, does that name mean anything to you?
Look, Mr. Douglas, it's none of my business, but I really...
Oh, this is insane.
He's making her uncomfortable. He needs to just leave. Which room did he go into? His?
Mr. Douglas? Mr. Douglas? Mr. Douglas? Mr. Douglas?
It's normal.
He's standing in front of him with a knife. With a knife.
Just lie still. You'll be all right now. You've got quite a slice in the head, but you'll be all right. You're lucky.
Lucky?
Is she a doctor?
Sure, look at the service you're getting. I'm a first-class surgical nurse, and this gentleman here, he's a doctor. Happened to be in the next car.
You're going to be all right. Lost a little blood, that's all.
Whatever made you pull that emergency cord? I'll probably give you a medal.
Medal?
If you hadn't pulled that cord, Lord knows how many people would be dead instead of just shaken up.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the freight train that was stalled on the track 100 yards ahead of us. The signal system failed. We stopped about 6 yards from the caboose. But how did you know that the train was there? I mean, you couldn't possibly have known. No one could have known.
No one? Ellen Lara, they knew. How? Well, there are a lot of theories. Precognition. Clairvoyance. Some people might even call it a happy coincidence. But does that explain it? I mean, really, explain it. To whom it happened, we know. Where it happened, we know. How or why it happened. In a moment, something else to wonder about.
I'm making a top hat for Friend. This is the top part, and it's going to build down
Next week,
into a hat.
this is a film developing tray. Rather ordinary object. But next week, when we take that one step beyond, this commonplace item from a photographer's darkroom will play quite a part in a bizarre story of the unknown world. I think you'll be shocked by what develops.
Let's see who the actors were. They were pretty good actors. Brando sounds familiar. I wonder if she's related to Marlon Brando. Anyways, so that was One Step Beyond Season 1, Episode 3, titled Emergency Only. What do y'all think? Do you believe in premonitions? Do you believe in psychics? And what would you do if somebody told you, like, that they saw your death and you started actually experiencing step by step the way they told you you would die? Would you try to back out of it? Would you keep going to see if it was going? My curious brain probably would not have gotten off the train, because I would be like, I want to see where this goes. I can stop it at the last second. I would not be able to stop it at the last second.